out what it means to be white label realty. We all know that it's dangerous to give me a microphone, but it's too late now. You can't take it back. So let's just be glad that tonight is young and not very diverse yet. What does it mean to be white label realty? This is actually a pretty deep question because there's a lot involved. But let's first discuss that the phrase white label is a marketing term for the ability to establish a product with the intent of rebranding it. The entire purpose of white label realty is to be a brokerage where the agents themselves and their brands are the focus. The goal is for the brokerage to be the structural support, the systems, and the resource, while the agents are at the forefront in the community with their individual brands and their relationships. The brokerage takes a backseat and lets the agents drive their businesses. You wouldn't think that giving agents autonomy, applicable education, and ample support would be a revolutionary idea. But here we are. As I've watched the growth of the last almost 2 years, I told Amber countless times, this shouldn't be such a shocking approach. I'm amazed that simply providing people what they need to work effectively has struck such a chord in this area. So what is it that we're doing differently, really? The first thing we do is we acknowledge how everyone is different, and we give them permission to stay that way. We don't shove everyone into the same methods or systems of growing their business. We don't try to fit all our agents into the same personalities or styles. At White Label, our agents are encouraged to express themselves through their businesses because you can't give a unique selling proposition of yourself into your community when you don't have permission to be unique. This goes beyond just our business cards, our branding, and how we are with our clients. We embrace our uniqueness daily when we see agents dressed expressively, in festive garb, or even mop shoes around the office. And if Ken could make it tonight, he'd be laughing, and for all we know, he might have worn his mop shoes here tonight. The message of White Label is that we like you as you are. And you'll be most successful when you're properly supported and allowed to be authentic in yourself. The next thing we do differently is that the agents have a voice and are heard. We don't shy away from difficult conversations. In fact, we encourage them. And we actually implement changes based on feedback. And if you've ever been in a corporate setting before, you know this is a breath of fresh air. And while we're willing to do what it takes to make deals happen for our clients, we aren't willing to lose our souls in the process. This comes out in how we strive to learn and understand the many facets of our industry so we can be technically stellar, and how we work to be clear communicators and detail-oriented. The list of what makes us different as a brokerage is actually longer than I can cover in my time here this evening. But what actually happens when you take a philosophy of individuality, fortified by experienced, educated, mindful, and caring brokerage support? The result is an unmatched community of educated, mindful, and caring agents who use their experience to support each other and their clients in their own authentic ways. The result is a strong group of agents that are comfortable in themselves and each other. As we laugh loud and often, we cry when necessary, and know that we aren't alone in this journey. We have a badass broker who has our back every step of the way.
All right, so we are going to start tonight. We all have a memory, and we're going to get into the words.
You chose 3 of some of the most
the award for the Hot Mess Award.
Hello. Okay, you should just know that I'm the complete opposite of her, so I'm about to shit myself. And I'm gonna read straight from my phone. We all have that friend, you know, that friend. The one who is chaos in all forms, but they keep your life fun, so you make sure you keep them around. That person just happens to be my best friend, my childhood best friend, so the chaos is nothing new to me. So some of you might not know her well, so I just want to paint a picture of the hot mess that I'm talking about. She calls me one day panicking, and we're on FaceTime. She turns the camera around, and there's water spraying from the wall in the bathtub. No faucet, just fire hydrant style spraying from the wall. She's laughing. I'd be crying. She's hysterically laughing. She turns the camera around to face her, and she has a hair full of hair dye. And it's dark. She has no idea how to turn the water off, where the shutoff is, so she calls Brian. Bless him. He is the most patient husband. She calls him, figures out how to turn it off, and she tells me she goes across the street to ask her neighbor if she can wash the hair dye out of her hair. You're joking. So, if you still haven't figured out who I'm talking about, you know every time she enters a room, she's the one yelling, "Jello!" Every time she opens the door. She's the one blurting out inappropriate comments during meetings. She's the one making sure we all have a great laugh at the office. She's definitely a hot mess, but she's our hot mess, and I'm so glad she is. So the Hot Mess Award goes to Kat Coker.
I don't know if you can talk. All right, so our second award is for somebody that couldn't be here tonight, so we're really sad. But it is recorded, and he is known to my son, who's going to come and give the award for the Giving Goblin Award.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to paint a picture for you. I want you to close your eyes and picture a goblin. Some people may know the true definition of a goblin, but tonight we're going by my definition. I like to think of my sister as a goblin. She's been one for a long time. The reason why is because she exhibits what I consider goblin-like behavior. This award isn't about my sister, but it is about an agent you all find super endearing. I'm going to explain how this agent is so similar to my sister in her goblin-like behaviors. Mine is shaking, by the way. Now, to paint a picture of how being a goblin is far from a negative thing, but actually one of the highest compliments I could give. These are some of the goblin-like behaviors you may have noticed, including random items magically appearing, such as crates of vitamin water, packets of cookies, and a huge bag of dog food. You may not see them, but you know they've been in the room because things have been randomly moved chaotically. You will also see this type of person of being running around in public with no shoes on. Even though they sound like a walking tornado, and maybe they are, don't forget they're also one of the most kind, giving people. And for that, this agent deserves to be recognized with receiving the Giving Goblin Award.
All right, our next award is the Sexiest Accent Award. Pat Coker, come and give us the sexiest accent.
I don't really have to introduce myself now, damn. So, hello. Okay, when I was asked to give this award, I was immediately overcome with honor, because if you know me in the office, you know how much joy it gives me to see this person, but even more so to say their name. Not only is this person the most sweetest human I know, but he is also very charming. So charming, in fact, that he uses this one outstanding trait of his to get special treatment and discounts at stores. Wow. Now, he may use a special trait to his advantage to get what he wants, but it doesn't work on changing how loud and crass he thinks Americans seem to be and how picky he is with his food. So picky, in fact, that he learned to cook at a very young age and is the main chef in his household. But apparently he hasn't fully adjusted to being a true Texan yet, because his idea of a good steak is beef jerky. I mean, well done. It's said around his house that he tends to want to always be right. And if you want to know what him and his wife were fact-checking each other on the night before, to just check their Google search history. Did I already mention that he was sweet? Well, where they're sweet, there has to be sour. He actually hates sweets and prefers sour things. His wife would even say that it's because he's full of piss and vinegar. But really, aside from the fun facts, this person has such a genuine heart. He lives to help people and gets a sense of purpose and strength from being the one that people turn to for help. I'm for sure going to need a bit of help mastering my British accent, so hopefully next year this award will be mine. But for now, the award of the sexiest accent goes to Alex!
It's over!
I fucking love you!
I know you hate that so much. All right, so the fun is over. We have some really, really amazing agents here tonight, and I want to make sure that we recognize them for everything that they are. The first award that I'm going to present tonight is called the Empire Award. The British film magazine Empire started something called the Empire Awards ceremony. It was introduced in 1996. They started out with an award called the Empire Award for the Best Debut. In 2002, they changed the name to the Best Newcomer. This award was created to honor a director with a breakthrough film or an actor who delivered a breakthrough performance. While real estate is definitely not the same thing as acting, it does feel like we're directors of a comedy show, maybe a reality series, sometimes even a horror film. I choose this award because I couldn't find a more fitting one than the Empire Award to show how proud we are of new agents that have stepped into a new career in real estate and absolutely have smashed it. It's not much different than an emerging actor who has knocked the debut performance out of the park. This year's award goes to an agent who has joined Right Label even before passing the test, immediately got involved, soaked up every bit of knowledge she possibly could. She asked for advice, she executed every recommendation that was made to her. She has shown no fear, and she has pushed herself out of her comfort zone many times. She wonders if she's doing enough, but in her first year as an agent, she has closed over 16 transactions, all while selling her She's not only made a debut in real estate, she has shown an award-worthy performance, earning her recognition and respect from all of White Label. To receive the Empire Award, Michaela Allred. I'm so sad that the next agent cannot be here just yet. She's on her way, but she has a flat tire. So, this award is fittingly called, and I just want you guys all to know, I researched these awards, like this stressed me out more than any bit of this whole party, was finding the right award for the right person. And so as I researched all of these things, I found an award that was called the Amber Torch Award. So I was like, well, I have to find something for that. So here's what I got. After I stepped out of production, I rekindled my love for real estate by heading first into the risk management side of things. I found myself absorbed in wanting to know the why behind everything. I was thrilled in this risk management role that I could teach others how to truly represent their client well. The term pass the torch means handing over a job or responsibility, duty, or knowledge to a successor. Even though that may not fit perfectly into the representation of true passing the torch, I'm not moving out of my role, at least not anytime soon. But I do appreciate the fact that there is an immense amount of trust that you put in somebody who is going to take your job and maybe do it better. It's very rare to find agents and brokers who appreciate the same thing as I do in risk management. Most of them find that it's just a bunch of rules that holds them back, may not apply to them. However, there's nothing more that makes my heart happier than knowing that I have agents that can take this seriously. I met this agent in a GRI class that I had online. I could tell absolutely through Zoom that she took copious notes. She asked a million questions, and over time, we Facebook friended each other and followed each other on Instagram. I had the honor of watching this agent grow in her business, and she set an amazing example for her daughter to follow in her footsteps. She has a love for her community, her family, and business, always protecting them and trying to do the right thing. I would put her up against any compliance officer in any real estate company, and I guarantee you she would come out winning. There's something amazing about being a broker who doesn't have to worry about their agents out in the field. Jenny Ashley, you deserve to carry my torch, the Amber Torch Award. Alright, so we're going to do the culture keeper. So I told everybody I was not going to do production boards, right? So it doesn't matter how much you produce. What matters is who you are as a person. So we're going to do culture keeper awards. We're going to base these awards off of the culture of the company. I can't guarantee I'm not going to cry on this one. The first one we're going to do is the family award.
You won the bet. You won the bet.
The first one is called the Spire Twist. That's the first award. When you hear the word Chesterfield, it is the largest church in Derbyshire, England. There is usually one thing that comes to mind. There is a church that has a twisted spire on the top. The building was finished in 13 1960, and it survived 2 world wars, 2 fires that nearly destroyed it. Many wondered why it was twisted. But despite all of the myths that people came up with, the real reason was because they lacked skilled workers. The workers that they used unseasoned wood, and over time, as it dried, the wood began to twist under the weight of the tiles. You may be wondering why I'm telling you a story about the spires that are at the top of a church. But I think about this when it comes to the core value of family. I was thinking through the meaning of family, and I couldn't help but think about the very strong women in our lives, the ones who feel the intense love for their family and have an innate ability to treat so many people they come into contact with that were as if they were a part of their family as well. They're the ones that weave the family fabric stronger with every passing year. They're the foundation of strength, and even with the twisting of time and imperfections that show through from time to time, they're amazing and beautiful and deserve to be recognized for the reminder that they give the family. They should always come first. If you wonder why I get my strength and fortitude as a mother, a businesswoman, and a trailblazer, Susan Kelly is the reason for that. She deserves the award for the support she's given me and always reminded me that I can do anything I put my mind to. When I talk about our company culture and how close it is, it's very easy to look at Erica Boisberg's as the epitome of family, the family we have in our office. She embraces each new person who comes into our team, happy and volunteers to give her time and to support new agents in the mentorship program. She's an amazing role model for her daughters and challenges her husband as they both work side by side in real estate. Not on the same team, by the way. I am blessed that both women are in my lives and a part of the company, representing the strength that like that of a spire on top of a church that is twisted over time. Okay, my mom. All right. The next award is called the Ruby Red Moon. No one wants to hear me talk this much. This is the Culture Keeper Award for Faith. On most nights, the moon receives direct light from the sun. But on the night known as the red moon, or the blood moon, the moon shifts from the Earth's darkest and most central part of the shadow. At this point, the sun, Earth, and moon almost completely align. You might think that this would cause the moon to go completely dark, but instead it is illuminated by the indirect sunlight, which results in an eerie red color. The red moon or blood moon is commonly referred to as the most powerful than any other moon, and the closer that it is to the Earth, the more intense that its pull is. When you combine this supermoon with the lunar eclipse, an amazing, powerful concoction of natural forces comes together. It is said that an eclipse symbolizes beginnings, endings, and clean slates. When we are presented with situations that force us to make the biggest life decisions, we tend to meet people around us that provide a lot of support. Their faith in us, knowing that our people is there during the darkest times, feels sometimes times like a lunar eclipse, but they can provide us with that hint of light that brings such strength that's needed for us to step into the next chapter. These are the people that have immense loyalty, and they look at the good in others and try to have faith that things will always work out for the best. These two agents have been through some of the most powerful influences with me under the worst times. The ruby red moon of strength during what felt like an eclipse in my personal career. Their underlying support and the fact that they stood by my side for years, their consistent reminders that things will always work out for the best, and for reasons that sometimes I don't even understand, they're deserving of the Ruby Red Moon Award for faith. Shelly Allen and Sarah Martin. The Culture Keeper Award for Authenticity is called the Open Wings Award. When we think of the term authenticity, there are many things that come to mind. Really, we think of living our life according to our own rules, rather than the rules of other people. We have all been a part of companies and organizations that have been so restrictive in their requirements that we have to suppress who we truly are as people. It's painful, and because of that, the authenticity has been such a strong focus of our company, and I wanted to make sure that we celebrated that. When I first met these two agents working with another company, I thought of them, first of all, I thought of one as being very quiet. I wasn't quite sure about him. The other one I thought was maybe just a little bit of a pain. His motto was better to ask for forgiveness than it was for permission. He always pushed the boundaries of our compliance department at the other company.
Attacks on a regular basis. When I got White Label up and running, they decided to join me in my move, and I was super excited to see what they were really like outside of this company. Little did I know that Andrew Lake was far from quiet. It was actually a lot of fun to be around. And I quickly realized that Matt Felter wasn't actually a pain at all. At least not as much as I thought he was. He was very funny, sarcastic, and just my type of person all along.
That's my man.
I just didn't get a chance to see that side at the previous company. I have watched their business take off and grow into an extremely successful team of 5. The freedom to be true to who they are as the people that they really are, with no pressure, not just shows how extremely successful you can become by just being who you are and letting your wings open and fly. You are well deserving of the Authenticity Award, Matt and Andrew. Okay, the Culture Keeper Award for Ownership. The Figure 8 Award. The quality of taking ownership is an interesting one, because it is one that seems to be lacking so much in society, but one that is an integral part of the company culture. So many of our agents do such an amazing job. This was actually really hard for me to come up with the person that I felt that was most deserving of this award. For some of you guys, you may be familiar with somebody by the name of Jocko Willink. He says in his book, Extreme Ownership, about being a leader and taking ownership. A good leader must be confident, but not cocky, courageous, but not foolhardy, competitive, but a gracious loser, attentive to details, but not obsessed by them, strong, but have endurance, be both a leader and a follower, humble, not passive, aggressive, not overbearing, quiet, not silent, calm, but not robotic. A good leader has nothing to prove. A good leader has everything to prove. The award is called the Figure 8. I chose this Figure 8 because the infinity symbol and the Figure 8 are basically the same shape. The agent I settled on that's most deserving this award, I have known only a few years, yet I have come to have the utmost respect for her. She is one of the hardest workers I have ever seen, focusing on her clients and fighting for them every step of the way. She has won the hearts of those on her team and rose to be the highest producer in the whole company. I didn't choose her because of her production. I chose her because she understands more than most that what you put into your business is truly what determines your success. She owns it. Christy Smith, who could not be here tonight, was going to say this in person, but she sent it to me. The recipient of the ownership award could not be going to a more perfect candidate. Lindsay is the epitome of ownership. Ownership with herself, her children, and her business. If an obstacle comes her way, she owns it and carries on. Life has not always been easy for her, but she never expects others to do her job for her and always gives 110%. Lindsay Bays, I'm so proud of you and so thankful that you have come to New Hope and worked by my side. I love you, Christy. Lindsay Bays, you are so deserving of the ownership award. The Culture Keeper Award for Integrity is called the Collective Victory Award. These two agents are more than worthy of this award. They always put their heart and soul into everything they do. They have the belief that everyone should work together, support one another, and always do the right thing. We've been through a whole lot together. And I know that they sleep well at night because they always remain honest and true to who they really are, focusing on doing the right thing, even if no one is watching. I have asked somebody very special to give this award to the deserving recipients. Tona, can you please come up?
What a beautiful party. Before we go into the Integrity Award, come here, Lily. This lady, let's just take a minute and thank our gracious Alex, where are you? So much care, attention to detail was brought into this night and in the last 2 years. So Amber and Alex, thank you so much for your So, high principles. Tonight's recipients of this award are the embodiment of all of those traits. I have coached and managed hundreds of you don't get to be my age, but I've coached and managed a lot of people. successful practices of their own. Wives extraordinaire. All of these things are attributes I would assign to the agents who are receiving this award. But before we do that, let's hear it for the boys. Right? Let's talk about the spouses of all the agents in this room who support you, who love you, who stand beside you, who dries your tears. So, first of all, I want to say to Keith Jordan and John Weldon, thank you for honoring us with the gift of your wives. Yes! Right? And for all of you who stand behind your spouse, this is not an easy job. So for all of you supporting a spouse in this industry, thank you. Now, Renee Jordan, I'm so sorry Micah is not here with you. Renee Jordan, stand on up. Renee and Micah, you are so deserving. You are so richly deserving of this award. Thank you for all that you do every day for all of your team.
Exciting things along the way. In modern times, this term I see as the important intellectual and physical journey, one that's filled with excitement and different adventurous experiences. It can also be used to describe a metaphorical voyage of self-discovery. There is one agent that immediately comes to mind when I think about the definition of personal and professional growth. I've had so much fun watching her grow into an amazing woman and agent that she is today. She swore she would never be on a team, would never have a team of her own. She didn't want the responsibility of watching over other agents, yet she was so carefree and had a vision of not being weighed down by anything that she decided to grow and expand her real estate career internationally. She is moving her real estate career from both Austin and also encompassing the Dominican Republic. And guess what? In order to do her real estate in Austin while she's in the Dominican Republic, she has to have a what? A team.
Just call me out.
Nicole Jones, you're great and passionate. Is a true inspiration to us all. You deserve the Open Odyssey Award. Cat wants to go to the Dominican Republic.
I leave on Monday.
A team is usually more successful when they approach the idea of synergy through service to others. Service isn't something that you do, it's an attitude. The one that builds your whole life around, helping others. When you live a life of service, you approach everything you do in a spirit of service. And in turn, you find it can transform your life into a more meaningful and fulfilling way to live. Mahatma Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. There's one person that kept coming to mind when I thought of the quality of service. This agent goes above and beyond to be there for others, especially those in need of assistance in technology. He comes off a little, or maybe a lot, grouchy.
Say, give me some scotch.
She's gonna kill it.
You would think they were gonna let me not have the mic tonight at least. I get to award this to my friend. I'm excited. And I need to learn how to read. This agent will not 100% appreciate the attention of this award. I say that only because they don't want the attention they deserve. In our business, we are competitive, and sometimes agents have this ability to work on an island. It's not part of a team. Sometimes it feels like we go at it alone. Part of the reason a lot of us joined White Label Realty was to find a team. Other agents are not always the most helpful or supportive, and I love that we have both, but are still just a little competitive. This agent's goal was to learn and teach what they want everyone, and they want everyone to succeed. I can't tell you how many times I've said, hey, I don't know how to do this, and he says, will you just come over here? I'll show you how to do it.
That is so
And then he says, why didn't you do it? He says that a lot.
That is spot on.
So-
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm 100% sure this person's eye rolling me right now and asking me to shut it down. So, to Anthony, congratulations. Did you notice it was red? Just for you, my friend. Okay, spoiler alert. The winner of the embodiment award is my sister Kenzie. And all of you, yes, all of you probably can guess why, but I just wanted to say that I really can't think of a better person for it. In fact, when we first found out that Amber was going to open her own brokerage, I knew immediately that anything Amber did would be done with excellence, and that it was an amazing opportunity. But my one hesitation is that Kenzie had just come alongside me and had a brokerage and really gotten invested there, and she gets invested everywhere she gets involved. And I just didn't know if she would be ready to move again. And our very first conversation, when she first started talking to me about it, she was 100% in with White Label before there were any other agents. None of you were here. It was just Kenzie and I and Sarah and a few others coming along. And she just knew that this is where she was supposed to be. So I've been wondering what to say about her. I could go on and on and on. But I told my daughter tonight, I don't even know how to narrow it down and all of her good qualities. So I told her what I said, I know what to say, and she rattled all this off. And I said, write that down. So this is what Kenzie's niece has to say about her. This is exactly what she said. Why Kenzie Boger is amazing. She is always understanding and supportive. She tries to be there for everyone. She is hardworking and persistent. She always goes above and beyond. She cares for everyone no matter what. She is willing to make sacrifices to protect and put an arm around others. And no matter what, always lightens the mood. She's always on 100%. And I can tell you I know from her birth, literally. 100% whatever she's invested in. The other thing I would say is she's extremely empathetic. She loves people and pours life out for other people, and she loves everybody's story. So she's always going to ask you many questions, and she's going to give whatever she needs to give you to help you succeed. And for me, that's the embodiment of who we are. So,
All right, this is it. They finished the event with one award that was the most coveted award of all. That award was called the Michelle Stewart Spirit Award. It was named after one agent who was diagnosed with breast cancer. Even though she was terminally ill, she devoted her time and her energy to help other agents. Before she passed away, they created this famous Spirit Award dedicated to her and her spirit of selflessness and care for others. And every year they handed out that award to another agent that truly represented that selflessness that Michelle did. It had such an impact on me, I never forgot that award. This isn't necessarily the most coveted award for White Label. I feel like all of our awards have so much meaning. But like the KW Spirit Award, I felt that one award of this caliber was something that would have a lasting impact on our company culture for many years to come. The story behind this award stems from a pair of agents who have been presented with a bad situation. One day, the wife received a phone call from a government agency asking if she knew the specific child from her son's school. She informed them that she did, and it was a friend of her son, Noah. The person on the phone wanted to explain that the reason for their call was because a little boy had been put in protective custody. He had no one. The person stated that they asked the little boy if he had any family or friends that he could call. The only one he could name was their son Noah. It was the only friend that he had. This heartbreaking story led the couple to decide that they were going to do whatever they could to help this little boy. Just think of the kindness and friendship that this agent couple's child had on the other child in school. The only person that he mentioned. Our children are many times the manifestation of what we are as parents, what we train them to be. And many times they embrace the values that we instill. In a world where kindness and caring is so rarely shown, their son is a true representation of his parents' spirit of selflessness and love. They are the ones that will be there if someone is in need, the ones who will do all that they can for others and deserve this award to be named after their son and the spirit behind who they truly are as agents. They could not be here tonight, but Sarah and Stephen George, the Noah Spirit is for you. But I wanted to make sure that I thank all of our sponsors and our advertisers tonight, Julie and Jamie, Mary Henson from HWA,
I know.
I
Praise
will
her.
let you say something, and then
Okay,
I
praise her,
want
and then I'm gonna praise her.
to let people that are going to get all of the auction money. I'm not going to talk. So, Pat, go for it.
No.
We all need to give a round of applause for Riley, another big one. Because I don't think you guys all know how much this woman does. She is phenomenal. Honestly, White Label would not be what it is without Riley. So let's all give her a round of applause, please.
I know you hate me right now. I'm so sorry. Kylie, I love you.
All right, so we are done. Hope you guys got